Hey everyone, it's Kayla from KJ and Her Books, and today I'm going to do a book review on Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. I've got my book, I've got my cup of decaf cappuccino, which is delicious by the way. So I didn't think I was actually going to be able to film this because earlier on in the day it was just gloomy and miserable and just, well, my kind of beautiful day, because I love when it's rainy, I love when it's overcast, but it also sucks when my plans for after work are to film a video and take some Instagram photos, or a Instagram photo. So I thought I wasn't going to have decent enough lighting, but turns out we've got some good lighting. The sun has come out and it works pretty well. I do wish we had more of a storm and more of the rain that happened earlier this morning, but you know, the weather here at the moment is just absolutely ridiculous. So yes, today we're going to be talking about Black Ice, which was meant to be my third read for the Polathon Readathon, but I didn't make it in time. I only managed to finish 2 books. If you remember from the Polathon TBR video that I did, this was included because it had ice in the title. So that's why I picked it. And it's been on my bookshelf for years, so I thought maybe this is probably a good time to read this. I picked it up, and reading the blurb on the back, I was instantly intrigued, and I don't know why I hadn't actually read it sooner. I guess I just wasn't in the mood to read it beforehand. Basically, our main character is Brit, and she goes on sort of like a spring break vacation with her best friend Corby, and they decide to do a hiking trip in the mountains and stay in Corby's family's cabin. But Corby's brother, who is also Brit's ex-boyfriend Calvin, is going to be there as well. So that was part of the reason why Brit wanted to go there, so she could sort of impress her ex-boyfriend by showing him like how great she is at hiking and that she doesn't need him anymore, and also like partly try and lure him back. But on the way to this cabin, they get stuck in a snowstorm, her and Corby, and they have to find somewhere to seek shelter because they can't stay in their car for the rest of the night, and they obviously can't make it up the rest of the hill to the cabin. They make their way through the woods to find somewhere that they can camp for the night, somewhere that they can stay that's warm, that's sheltered, and they can grab their car when they can, and hopefully the storm dissipates. So they come across this cabin with some very nice, friendly, handsome guys, and they think that, yep, this is perfect, we'll hang here, it'll be fine. But all is not fine. They end up getting into some trouble and it just goes crazy. I don't want to go into too much just because I don't want to give away spoilers, just in case you want to read it. They think that these guys are super friendly, but it turns out there's a lot more to them than what they think. But essentially, that's the blurb. And at first, like, majority of this book was actually really good. Like, it was the kind of quick, fast-paced read that I needed. It was also a young adult thriller, and I actually love watching like crime documentaries and like true story thrillers and things like that. Just anything to do with that, it's very interesting for me. And to come across a young adult thriller like this, I thought, hey, this is an awesome idea. I'm actually really liking it. Despite all of the negative reviews that I saw, I still gave it the best chance. Like, I went into it with low expectations, but most of the way through this, I was like, oh, it's actually not too bad despite what people say. And if you go on Goodreads, there are a hell of a lot of negative reviews on this book. And most of the way through this, I was actually really enjoying it. I was like, this is really cool thriller to read. Like, she's done a good job. And I do have to say that Becca Fitzpatrick did write this really, really well. She's good at writing fast-paced, intriguing stories. But about, like, I had like another quarter left of the book or something like that, and that's when it started to get irritating to me. So things just went absolutely crazy in the wrong kind of way. So I understand the majority of stories aren't going to be realistic, but in this scenario it was just way too much unbelievable things happening, and it didn't seem like it was a normal thriller. It seemed like it was very exaggerated and irritating is probably the word that I can actually describe this. it just became really irritating. The characters were really irritating, and there was just so much happening that I was just like, what? Like, can we please just get to the end, or can we go back to the beginning and then rewrite the ending? Because I would rewrite the ending of this. I would rewrite like majority of the last half of this book, because it just went really, really weird. I don't know if you guys have seen Uncut Gems on Netflix, but to me, that was like how I would describe this. It had like a really good idea and it started off okay, but then it just went really weird, and the ending was kind of like abrupt and just odd. My main issue with this was that there were a lot of loose ends with this that needed to be tied up. It just didn't, like, there were so many questions that I still had left at the end of this book that hadn't been answered and will never be answered, because there's nothing else to this book. So that was really annoying for me, and just the ending of it was just a little bit too ridiculous for me. And like, I've read a lot of smutty novels, and I've read like a lot of stories that revolve around like, you know, alpha males or kidnappers and things like that. Like, I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I love the idea of reading alpha males, but it was really, really hard to wrap my head around something like this, like a kidnapping scenario. I know there's smut out there like that, but it was really difficult for me to take it seriously, or at least like somewhat seriously, as I would with a normal smutty novel. I guess because it's meant to be young adult and it's meant to be a thriller, it wasn't really advertised as a romance, at least not for me. I was just expecting the ending to be quite different. I was hoping the ending would be quite different. So yes, that's pretty much what I thought of this particular book. I think I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good. Like, it very well could have been better, and the characters could have been better. They could have been less annoying. I can understand some of the decisions that they made, especially the main character, but also she was very irritating towards the end. And like, it just, yeah, it just went really weird. It started off good, went weird. That's the best way to describe it. And the questions that I had left afterwards, like, she didn't make very good conclusions with certain things. But other than that, I still enjoyed it. I would probably pick it up and reread it again one day, just to maybe put myself in that headspace that this is not meant to be like a serious thriller. It's meant to be like a young adult romance. And I suppose if you go into it thinking, yes, this is going to be a young adult romance, it might work a little bit better than being advertised as a thriller. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's pretty much all I can really say about this. Like, the characters had very up and down moments for me. Like I said, some of them became really, really annoying. The reading time for this, like, I use Bookly at the moment to track my reading progress and how fast I'm going through a book, and I was doing really well with this. Like, it honestly didn't take me very long to read it. It's only like almost 400 pages long, so it was very fast paced. It was very, very quick to get into. I really loved that. So that's definitely, that was like a full-on star for that, just that on its own. Enjoyment, I really did enjoy this for the most part up until like the last quarter, as I said before, because it just turned weird. But majority of the time, like, it was good to read a book that was really enjoyable from the beginning, even if it did go weird. But at least I got to read most of this book with that enjoyment. The writing style was really good. Like I said, Becca Fitzpatrick wrote a very quick, fast-paced story. Like, there were some parts that she could have concluded and done a bit better. She could have done the ending a little bit better, but you know, she did what she could, and there are plenty of people out there who love this story anyway, so she's obviously done good in that particular area. But yeah, I find her writing style quite easy to get into, quite easy to read, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't mind that. And then the plot for this was really good to start with, like the twists and turns. It was actually a really good plot, and I did really enjoy that. It's definitely something that will draw you in if you like thrillers, or you're interested in reading like a young adult thriller. So it definitely wasn't bad in that aspect. It was just the fact that it just went weird and there were loose ends. That's pretty much the only negative thing I really have to say about it. So like I said, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't like amazing enough to give, you know, 4 or 5 stars to. So I think it was still pretty good for the 3 stars that I gave it. And yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who absolutely love this anyway. That's pretty much all I can say for it at the moment. If you've read this, please put a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. You can also follow my reviews on Goodreads. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, you know, that normal stuff. Don't forget to comment and like and subscribe and everything. And yeah, thanks for watching this little ranty, rambling review, but I thought I would do this review while everything was still intact in my head. But yes, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you liked this. Let me know if this has made you want to read this book, or like I said, if you've already read it, please let me know what you think of it. And yes, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.